So Dublin 214, Mayo 15 points. Dublin have won the All-Ireland Championship at Croke Park this evening. What a win in the end for Dublin. It was a very close, intense battle. It was very close indeed. Probably a lot closer maybe than some people expected in the end. And look, listen, obviously I am a Dublin fan. You can see that with the jersey I have on. But look, listen, I do want to give massive credit to Mayo today. They were absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, they done absolutely everything they could to win the All-Ireland. The only difference for me was the bench. The bench was a massive, massive difference. Dublin brought on Paul Mannion and Brian Howard, who made a massive difference to the team, whereas Mayo's bench, the likes of Darren Cohen, for example, just really didn't have the same impact. And in the end, that was for me the difference, because going into the final quarter, there was only a point in it. And Dublin really could have lost this game without doubt. But the power from the bench, the likes of Paul Mannion coming on, Paddy Small, in my opinion, didn't have his best game today. And obviously Paul Mannion came on and made a massive difference. You had Cormac Costello, who came on late on as well, although he didn't score a point. He just shows the options that Dublin have from the bench. And look, listen, massive credit to Mayo. They really, really fought hard, and without doubt they'll be up there, thereabouts next year, in my opinion. I think they've got a lot of young players coming through, and with some of the players they brought off the bench as well, when they get a bit more experience, when they get more and more into the team, I do think that within the next 5 to 6 years, I do see Mayo winning an All-Ireland. But unfortunately for them, it's not today. For me, I'm absolutely delighted. Dublin have won the 6 in a row. Gets in! What's the story, everyone? It's Aaron here from GA Fan TV. I hope you're all keeping well. Dublin have won the All-Ireland. They've beaten Mayo by 5 points at Croke Park this evening. And yeah, look, listen, obviously I'm here with my thoughts and my reaction after the game. And look, listen, it was a tense game. It was a tense battle. And I did record my live reactions to the game as well, so they'll be out tomorrow. So you'll see exactly how I felt throughout this game. I was on the edge of my seat, in all honesty. And to be honest, I really, really enjoyed it. Like, it was good to be on the edge of my seat again. It was good to actually see a game that was very, very competitive. And look, listen, as a Dublin fan myself, I do appreciate how good we are. I do appreciate how good it is that we win matches so comfortably. But you do want to see games be competitive, because at the end of the day, you are a fan, and it's no fun if your team just wins by 15, 20 points every game. So I'm delighted that this was competitive, because it made it interesting, and it felt like it meant something, in my opinion, which a lot of the other games, in all honesty, didn't. So absolutely delighted with the victory. First half performance by Dublin was very, very wary, but we'll certainly get into that in a moment. I suppose first of all what we'll do is we'll have a look at the teams that took to the field here. So of course, obviously with these videos, I always showcase the teams that played. So we'll have a look at the Dublin side here first of all. So Stephen Cluxton in goal, Fitzsimons, Davy Byrne, and Johnny Cooper. You had Owen Merchant, John Small and Robbie McDade, of course, in the half-back line. Fenton and McCarthy in midfield. Scully, Kilkenny and Sean Bugler made up the half-back line. Paddy Small, Conor O'Callaghan and Dean Rock, of course, made up the full forward line. Moving into the Mayo side, you had David Clark in goal, Chris Barra, Oisin Mullen, Lee Keegan. Then, of course, you had Paddy Durkin, Stephen Cohen and, of course, Owen McLaughlin. Conor Loftus and Matthew Ruan made up the midfield. Kevin McLaughlin, Ryan O'Donoghue and, of course, Jeremy O'Connor made up, of course, the half forward line. Tommy Conroy, Aidan O'Shea and Cillian O'Connor made up the full forward line. And it was exceptional stuff in the end, and it was a crazy, crazy game. Like, looking through some of the scores, so Cillian O'Connor in total was outstanding. I think he hit 2 points from play, or 3 points from play, I think, and I think he hit 9 points in total from what I have here. He was absolutely exceptional. I thought Ryan O'Donoghue in the first half, what a player he is. I didn't mention him in the preview, and I feel quite disappointed in myself that I didn't, in all honesty, because he is an exceptional footballer. He was absolutely brilliant in that first half. He was driving at the Dublin defence. He was causing them all sorts of problems. Dublin probably didn't really do their homework on Ryan O'Donoghue. Maybe they didn't expect too much from him, and he was outstanding. He just caused so many problems for this Dublin side, and he was taken off around about the 57th minute for Darren Cohen, who came on. Darren Cohen didn't even score, didn't really make a difference. I don't know if that was an injury. I am recording this straight after the game. But it was interesting nonetheless to see him go off. And look, listen, I know there were certainly a lot of contentious issues throughout this game. Potential black cards of specific players and the halftime bust up as well. So we will get into that. Don't worry about it. I'm not just ignoring that as a Dublin fan. We will get into it. For Dublin, the first half was interesting. It reminded me a lot of 2017, in all honesty. We didn't really get going. We couldn't really... Mayo were doing a great job. Like, you have to give Mayo a lot of credit. They've done a fantastic job on Dublin's forwards. Dean Rock was causing the most problems. Obviously, he got that early goal straight on. Dublin driving straight through. Played on from Conor O'Callaghan into Dean Rock, who was able to fist it in the back of the net. And Dublin from there, really, you thought that, oh, goodness me, Dublin have scored the quickest goal in All-Ireland football history. This could literally be a whitewash. This could be worrying from a Mayo point of view, because Dublin straight away with McCarthy, who for me was man of the match. James McCarthy was absolutely outstanding in this game for Dublin. I don't think he kicked a point, but what he done was he was brilliant at holding the ball, his driving runs. He set up, of course, the second goal as well for Conor O'Callaghan. He was absolutely fantastic. He covered so much ground all around the pitch. He was unbelievable. I think it would be between him and Brian Fenton. Brian Fenton in the first half, to be fair to the likes of Conor Loftus, like, done a fantastic job. And Dublin struggled in that first half with Brian Fenton. In the second half, I thought he came more and more into the game, and he was a lot better, and he certainly made more of a difference, in my opinion. And he certainly did, without doubt, of course, challenge this Mayo side. You know, he kicked the point, and he definitely did make a much bigger difference in the second half. And I suppose looking through some of the scores for Dublin, obviously Dean Rock kicked a number of points, 1-4 in total. You had Sean Bugler, Conor O'Callaghan, who kicked 1-1. You had Sean Small, Kieran Kilkenny, Fenton, Scully, and of course the bench as well, like I was saying, Brian Howard, and of course Paul Mannion, who came off the bench just to make a huge difference, in my opinion. And in the first half, I thought Mayo were doing brilliant on the kickouts. You know, we talked before about some of the issues that David Clark might have from the kickouts. I think we were seeing some issues from Stephen Gluckson in the first half. Not necessarily in terms of, he wasn't necessarily doing anything wrong, but he was kicking short a lot of the time, and Mayo were able to turn Dublin over. And it was surprising that Dublin weren't going long. You know, Stephen Cluxton can kick long. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And for whatever reason, he wasn't doing it in the first half. And when he did do it, more often than not, Mayo were winning the high ball. And they were winning the high ball from their own kickouts, from David Clark as well, who I thought had a very good game from kickouts, in all honesty. And I thought he did have a great game in general. You know, not a lot he really could have done about the 2 goals. And I think David Clark has certainly shown that he is a top keeper for Mayo, without doubt. You know, he definitely is a top keeper. And with his age, you do wonder, you know, could that be his last game out there? Does he have another season in him? You know, from his point of view, I'm sure he'll want to keep going until he maybe grabs that All-Ireland medal, but it's, you know, it's going to be tough, in all honesty, and it's harsh on Mayo in many ways and David Clark, but it is what it is. Dublin are just far more superior and just a lot better in all areas of the pitch, and ultimately, despite David Clark having a good performance, it really didn't make too much of a difference. I suppose we'll get into some of the contentious refereeing issues, in my opinion. We'll start with the Robbie McDade black card. For me, not a black card. I thought it was a coming together between him and Kevin McLaughlin. And you might say, oh, I'm a Dublin fan, of course I'm going to say that. Johnny Cooper and Michael Fitzsimons, I think they both should have got black cards and they didn't. So I think the referee had quite a poor game. Robbie McDade and McLaughlin, for me, it was a coming together. Like, McDade didn't get his body in front of Kevin McLaughlin. It looked like Kevin McLaughlin it was just a coming together between the two. You know, these things happen. It was a free, yes, but it definitely wasn't a black card, in my opinion. So I thought that was very harsh on Robbie McDade, who, to be honest, was probably struggling at times in the first half. He was doing good at getting forward, but the problem was he was getting exposed at the back, and that was quite tough in the end for Dublin in many ways. Obviously, in the second half, Brian Howard came on. Johnny Cooper, for me, you know, I said it in the preview, very suspect defensively at times, does have defensive lapses. Should have been black-carded in the Cavan game and should have been black-carded in this game as well, in my opinion. Brought through Aidan O'Shea, who was going clean through on goal. Yeah, you know, whether you're a Dublin fan or not, you have to admit it. I think that was a black card. The Michael Fitzsimons one was a heavy challenge. It was a high challenge. To be honest with you, like obviously the black card rule is very debatable, and some people say cynical foul and all this. For me, according to the black card rules, that was a black card, and whether you agree with the rule or not, I think it was. And you know, Dublin, in my opinion, got a little bit lucky there, because if they had 2 black cards, you 3 black cards, you have 12 men on the pitch for, you know what I mean. You obviously, you know, you're bringing another man on when the black card goes off, but yeah, very, very suspect in my opinion that the referee didn't give even yellows. You know, even the yellow for Fitzsimons was a high challenge, and it was quite surprising. You did have Cillian O'Connor, who looked to have a bit of a a dagger out at John Small at one stage. I think John Small, though, probably made a bigger meal of that, in all honesty. It was rolling around a little bit. Yeah, you could see him going up to the referee as well. He did have a bloody nose. So, look, listen, if the referee had given a yellow card there, in my opinion, I don't think he could have said anything. But as far as I'm aware from what I've seen anyway, he didn't give anything. And that was, that was probably the fair decision, in my opinion. And, yeah, look, listen, I said, in the preview in the game, and I also said as well that on Twitter, I put out a tweet giving my scoreline prediction. My scoreline prediction, I think as far as I remember, was I think 216 to 14 or 215 to 14, I think it was. And I wasn't far away in the end. It was actually 214 to 15, so I wasn't too far away. But I did always feel that Dublin's bench would always be the difference. The players coming off the bench would be the difference, and in the end, it was. Mayo just ran out of steam. Darren Cohen dropping a few balls short. They just didn't have the options, in my opinion. And Dublin bringing on the likes of Colin Pascal and Paul Mannion, and Colin Pascal didn't score, but he runs around a lot and he makes a difference, and he was causing problems for Mayo, and in the end that did make the difference, was the options from the bench. And look, listen, if Dublin had have got those two players black-carded, you just never know how this game would have panned out. But I think in the end, Dublin have got the victory, they've got the win, deservedly so, in my opinion. I think they were the better team in the second half. They controlled the game brilliantly. The likes of Fenton and McCarthy really using their experience to get the job done. And Dublin dropped back quite a lot in the second half. They sat very deep and they suffocated Mayo's forwards, and it was very, very hard for Mayo really to do anything. The likes of Aidan O'Shea as well couldn't really break through that Dublin defence. And although I did say Michael Fitzsimons should have been black-carded, I thought he was brilliant as well. And I think it is a testament to this Dublin defence. Although they were quite suspect in the first half, in my opinion, I do think overall, you have to give Dublin so much credit for their defence. They've been brilliant defensively. They haven't conceded a goal. And when you look at some of the margins they've conceded, very low number of points as well. I think Mayo's points tally today might have actually been the highest that they conceded, which shows a lot, which tells a lot as well, in my opinion. But look, listen, in the end, Dublin win the Sam Maguire, and deservedly so. Congratulations to Dublin. Fair play to Mayo. As I said before, I do think they'll come back stronger next year, without a doubt. Obviously, there will be a lot of talk, I'm sure, about funding, resources, all this stuff that usually pops up. But look, listen, I said it before in some of my previous videos. I don't think the gap is that big. I think if Kerry and Donegal were in the All-Ireland semi-finals, which they should have been, well, obviously not because they should have been. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think they're the two strongest teams from them provinces. So if they had won their provinces like they probably should have, we would have been talking about two closer games. And that's not to disrespect Cavan or Tipperary, who won their provincial championships. Absolutely they deserve them, but I do think Kerry and Donegal are better teams, and I think if they were in the semi-finals, it would have been a lot closer. So I don't think the gap is as big as what people suggest. Yes, changes will have to be made moving forward, but in all honesty, that is a conversation for another day, because I think Dublin deserve the credit tonight. They deserve to enjoy the victory. And yeah, quite historic. It's kind of mad. The first 10 years of my life, I hadn't seen Dublin win an All-Ireland. And in the next 10 years, I've seen them win it 8 times in those 10 years. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And yeah, look, listen, I know a lot of Mayo fans follow this channel. So look, listen, you will be back stronger next year. I'm sure you'll be thereabouts in the coming years. Will you eventually get over the line? It's hard to know, in all honesty. Dublin are going to be stronger next year. Mayo or Kerry, Donegal, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Mayo. But look, listen, I do think they deserve a lot of credit tonight. They've played very, very well, but I think Dublin, in the end, for me, deserved winners. And look, listen, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up here. There will be more videos to come out, of course. I'll have my live reactions coming out tomorrow, which were quite interesting nonetheless, because there were certain moments in the game where I thought that Dublin might actually lose this. So yeah, do keep an eye out on that and everything else that's going to be on the channel. Videos are going to continuously be coming out over the next coming weeks or so. There's going to be no breaks on this channel. We're going to keep going. And yeah, do subscribe and like if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.